Got another great submission from the man slash myth slash legend, the notorious KOP. He's got two back-to-back Ara-Kara 8s. We're going to be taking a look at, they go in very, very different directions, both very unique runs. Let's take a look at Cop's great submission here yet again. Trying to prog the 8. This was a while ago, back in January. I love the Stinky Bright Potion as well. It looks like a totally different dungeon. Doesn't this look like an entirely different dungeon with the Stinky Bright Potion on? It's actually crazy. You guys have seen this actual problem we have here before. I made a video on Ara-Kara, like, I don't even know now. There's been so many of these in the last few weeks, but somewhat recently we have the exact same problem where this tank is just kind of like slowly combining trash into a calamitous event, and it's an event that I still cannot actually figure out. We talked about it in that video as well, but like I never figured it out. I have no idea how this mini boss gets aggroed, but that is what's going to happen here. But we're just going to sit here and fight this trash at the front of this room, and that may immediately cause you concern because you might have seen this before in the previous video. The mini boss aggroes and it's just like nobody has any idea that it's aggroed. The bear is just like, oh, I mean, we got one enemy. Like, there's just this one caster. Take it to the mini boss. What are you doing? Look at how ridiculous that looks. I love that shot right there because the affix has spawned, but the affix has spawned near the mini boss. So like this concentration of players is just attacking here, just kind of brawling in fight camp here against this crustacean because Cop has a stupid spider mode on. The mobs get turned from spiders into crabs. It looks ridiculous. This guy, he doesn't give a fuck. This guy's like, I don't care about any mechanics. Currently feared in the web. Like, and this is because he was attacking the mini boss. Credit to him. He was the only one actually attacking the mini boss. So when Cop sent me this, he thinks it is the warlock's pet that aggroes it. And you're going to see why he thinks that here in a second. You're going to see the pet go running off to that, but it has already aggroed. We're already in combat with it. We get our web spray alert thing or whatever. You see the big frontal, and then the warlock pet starts running after it. It's like, yeah, they stun the mobs and then the pet goes. So the question is, at this point, does the warlock then go and switch to the mini boss? I guess so. You can kind of see the mini map, like he's standing over here. I don't know. I have no idea how this gets aggroed. I've watched this in slow motion 10 different ways, and I see no indication that anything actually aggroes it by accident. No mechanics seem to happen in that way. The only thing I think is like maybe somebody actually attacks it on purpose because they think they're dragging the pack towards it, but yeah, that's it. So they're gonna wipe to this. I mean, barely, to be honest. Like, they barely wipe. They're getting hit by like every single mechanic. We're finally getting the trash together, and darkness has descended upon Ara-Kara because when you die, the Stinky Bright Potion goes away. Now, what's funny about this is they like have this prolonged failure that ultimately causes them to die. They are gonna have like 5 full deaths here, but it's an Ara-Kara 8, and Pep Monk just doesn't give a flying fuck. He's gonna leave 5 deaths into an 8. Not even. They didn't actually have the 5th death yet. The tank is still alive when people are sprinting out of the dungeon. So that is number 1 of 2 Ara-Karas. Let's take a look at the second one, which is a lot more interesting. Actually, before we do, we have to take a look at Den Leader. I love the name, by the way. Den Leader Malfurion. That guy's definitely RPing. He says, "Who pulled that shit?" and then leaves himself. Second run, a lot crazier. You might be able to tell already why. Pop actually sends me a link to this guy's Raider IO. I mean, I know it's an 8, but this is pretty wild. Now, the guy does have an alt. That player is 2,700, which is obviously better than what you would want to see for an 8. But yeah, this guy is not even 1k score, 609 item level. Never actually upgraded an 8. This was like a month and a half ago. Just kind of gave up, it looks like, on the character. So you actually see 3 monks in the group as well. Cop usually looks at that as an indication of success because he believes that, I think it's mostly a joke, but like people playing monks are pretty calm in general. But the fact that they're all like off meta constantly, yeah, it kind of actually ends up working out. But yeah, the mage, the 1,000 score, 609 fire mage, is trying to tell the tank he did not go big enough. He says big. Yes, big. Okay, well, guess what? We're not going big. We're just stopping at the front of the stairs here, which is definitely something I would always recommend. Doesn't cause any problems immediately, but it will. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. 2 windwalkers, though. Rare enough to see 1. Actually kind of crazy. Maybe not the strongest comp, but looks like the group's pretty solid. Cop zigs when he should have zags. That's his word. Kind kind of just gonna not walk all the way out of this. It looks like he's almost out of it though. It's just a little hard to see with all the tooltips and stuff on the screen, but that's gonna be our first death. And again, darkness descends on Ara-Kara. Look at how ridiculous this boss looks. This is the dumbest fucking thing in the video. This is really, 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 really stupid. 4 crabs running into a giant crab that's like the exact same model as him. I don't know. This is ridiculous. I get it. People don't like spiders, but come on, man. This is just not what the fight's supposed to look like. Anyway, our big fire mage down there is struggling to not get dwarfed by the tank. They are going to kill this boss without any issues whatsoever, though. People actually switching to the ads, unlike the last time we reviewed an Ara-Kara. Yeah, looking pretty good so far. First boss down. This is usually the hardest boss in the beginning of the dungeon, especially. If we can get to the end, we're usually pretty happy. So just watch the cadence of the tank from now on, right? And like look at maybe a little bit about his health, like just how things are going. Taking his time. It is a tyrannical 8 as well. There's no fortified. So yeah, a little weird, a little suspect taking it all this slow here. Especially like, okay, we can easily combine. There's 2 enemies left. Go ahead and pull the next pack. Nope, not gonna do that. So now we have like a chance to maybe pull like really big. We'll pull the double blood guard. I wouldn't recommend that, but we have the 609 mage pinging the pack over there, which the tank is ultimately gonna pull. This is a better choice. One way or the other though, unfortunately, because of the way we chose to pull this, it's gonna be one small pull here. So coming out of that pack, the tank is gonna like hesitate. Like we're just gonna sit here now. Again, it's partially due to the patrolling situation, the awkward pulling. The fire mage says go and he starts throwing fire, like tossing a phoenix or whatever that is. Comes up here, just like pure hesitation in a position where, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it was a higher key, I definitely wouldn't pull this either, but you know, it's an 8 non-fortified. So we're just gonna kind of sit here and posture for a bit and then watch this red-headed dwarf just I mean, I don't even know that they typed and had a second in between typing and pulling. Like they typed go the same second that spell went shooting out of them. And so now, of course, you know, this is not really that big of a deal, but we have all kinds of stuff unfolding above us here. This is the mob that needs to constantly be kicked, and it's pulled, and now we got all kinds of enemies. We got the affix spawning. It has become a total mess, all thanks to this mage who's like frankly getting carried in this key. I mean, even at this level, still like super under geared, caused pretty much a full wipe. I mean, it's hard to say that because obviously the tank should have did this a little bit differently, but the fact that the mage just pulls for the tank really is the end all be all for me. If you ever do this, you are to blame. And yeah, they're not taking that blame very well. They said, bruh, you got 3 big burst DPS and you take small. Now the tank seems to misunderstand what he was saying. He thinks he's mad that all of that stuff got aggroed and they pulled, but the mage is actually not mad about that. He was mad that they hesitated in the first place, which was the right call because as you see, the hesitation was needed, ultimately ends up causing the wipe because we have the patrol out stretched, extended into that pack, which caused another pack to aggro. And then the mage's just tremendous response to that is time is money, honey, as he again pulls for the tank. Watch it again unfold. Really awkward, just kind of sitting here. And I get it, this sucks. I mean, this doesn't look good, but hey, it's an 8. Just chill the hell out and just play the game. So just sitting here again, waiting for this patrol. Tank's not going to pull it on his own. Mage, I guess, learned that lesson. Took him the hard way, but they did figure it out. And instead, they're going to make like, I mean, pretty much the same thing. They're just going to pull earlier. And now they're getting like meleeed. Was it worth it? Like, I don't know, man. Kind of crazy decision making here. They're going to get past that area without any more incidents. And now we're on to the second boss, which is definitely one of the easiest bosses in the entire game. Love this moment of irony, though. Mage gets the mechanic, the frontal, okay? He's going to invisit. Like, yeah, pretty nice play, right? So he's going to invisit. Is invis still a defensive CD? You guys tell me, but I know what's definitely a defensive CD. Cauterize. Gets the dot. Here's the dot on them, and guess who's not going to get healed through the mechanic and doesn't have cauterize because he chose to pull trash, now dead on the easiest encounter in the video game on an 8. And response to that, double question mark. Really the only response to that at this point. Tons of pings, just spamming the pings. Look at all these pings. Frenia times 3. Threatening alert, accidentally hitting the fire spirit, earth spirit. That's cops' clones or somebody's clones. Pinging Kasumi, pinging Frenia, pinging on my way, pinging look here, pinging blazed, pinging attack blazed. He's not getting the battle res, and I don't blame him, honestly. Just spamming pings, assist a noob zaket, attack a noob zaket, blazed, ping. Dude, pinging cop, pinging blazed, B-res. Again, a third desperate plea for the battle res from from the guy he just screwed over. And then he actually does battle res him like halfway through the fight, which is kind of weird. I don't know if he just wasn't like, I don't know, was it genuinely just not paying attention or something like that? He is ultimately going to battle res him. We see the icon. And then the mage who was pinging for like the last 10 minutes says, you don't need it now. You can finish the boss. Brother, they could finish the boss without you the whole time. You were never needed. One more problem comes in here. Other monk has a little bit of problem, I guess, I don't know, moving out of that or something. I'm not really sure how he dies. He does dodge it. He does dodge. He doesn't run into the bugs either. It looks like he just gets one shot. So I don't know if he like taunted or what. Oh yeah, look, he even says, why did I have aggro? You probably taunted. We don't see any indication that that happens on the screen. It's like oftentimes hard to see, but the paladin does not have like bubble or bop up or anything like that. The paladin's not doing very good damage, but it's like not so low that you would pull threat on a single target. I don't think. I don't know. He does battle res him, which is actually kind of crazy with the boss at like 5% health. That battle res is going to come in and that guy's going to take it too at 6% health on the boss. That's pretty insane on its own, to be honest. And the mage is going to comment one more time while still being on the ground on the easiest fight in the video game. He's just the worst tank ever. That's the Azralon 609 fire mage saying that. The paladin is, I guess, going to see his message. So like probably not unignore. I don't know. It's hard to tell because all he does is reply with a question mark. And the guy who died to melees actually is now getting frustrated with it. He said, dude, fucking chill. Now we're here fighting one enemy, which is hilarious. Mage is already commenting on that with 4 Z's. Z. That like means like you're sleeping, right? The other Windwalker goes in though. He says, I'm carrying you. You can take a chill pill. Oh no. He says, dude, just in say, just typing in say right now. Probably still mad at the tank though. Not responding to the Windwalker here. Probably just mad that the tank continues to just pull like one mob at a time. But they are going to get to this boss. You may already see they are going to get to this boss. And guess what they do not have? They do not have enemy forces. Short 3 whole %. And we're going to fight this last boss. With 10 minutes left, we do have Bloodlust. So we are going to lust here. Now, another talking point all season. This is the hardest boss in the game in low keys for a few reasons. And you already see it going poorly. Just expecting players in lower keys to dodge all of this stuff, move out of all this stuff. As we see, Cop actually accidentally walks into a blood, and then, you know, because of that, he doesn't have a blood himself to go in, so he is now going to die to that. We still have battle reses up, you know, we're just, I guess at this point, the tank's just not really paying attention to health bars, so he's not going to use it. He's the only battle res in the group. Mage says WTB, want to buy battle res, and the tank is going to battle res Cop, but unfortunate circumstances have occurred. Want to buy battle res. Right after he says that, he gets it. Cop pretty much instantly takes it into the dispel of the poison and dies again. Love this little interaction here too. Watch this. Cosmic Singularity goes out. 3, 2, 1. Dead body ejected. I love that. What I don't love is that they are wiping to this though. Other Windwalker also gonna die here. Pay attention to that death. It's kind of hidden by the UI stuff a little bit there, but you can see him to the right of the boss. He's gonna get rooted in the dispel wave thing coming out, and then Tank's gonna follow up with just a hilarious death watch. He's gonna run south. Watch him run south and then come back around. Look at him come back around towards the middle of the boss. That is really, really funny to watch. That's just like great physical humor there. Like watch, he goes out of shot and now he's coming. Here he comes. Oh, all right, he's back. Just a really, really funny death there. So they are going to wipe, but on the way back, they're going to get count, which is good. I mean, the guy pings about count. Actual, like, useful ping. The tank's just kind of, like, not really paying attention to the fact that they still don't have count, but he is going to pull. Unfortunately, the ping is insufficient. They don't have count. That's not enough mobs. You pinged 2 enemies. So here comes pull number 2. We immediately have the affix spawn on top of all the other dangerous mechanics, but we get that out of the way. We have webs on top of dispels. Here we go. Let's watch that. Gonna, like, masterfully kind of spread out. We got a lot of people in melee, a lot going on here, but Cop does accurately dodge that this time, so no issues. Got a lot to dodge here. Gonna be just finding a little slot here, and Cop's gonna roll out and eat one of these things, but as you see, there is not enough for the Paladin, who is again gonna get pulled in. This is why this fight is such a mess on low keys, because nobody prepares. There's plenty on the other side. The tank just goes to the same side as 3 other people. There's only the 3 puddles there. I mean, to be fair, I think there's other puddles that could be formed. You just got to attack that blood worker. He's just not doing it. So he actually gets pulled in, but doesn't die to getting pulled in. So that's saved them there. I think maybe, I don't know if he bubbles or what, but we see him get pulled in here. Yeah, he definitely bubbles afterwards. He gets knocked all the way to the other side, and now he's in the bubble. But anyway, we're all right. The guy is alive, and we have not had a death there. Every time these mechanics come out and all these overlaps are happening, though, I'm always like clenching my jaw, wondering if these low-key players are going to be able to get past this. Here's another one, right? So again, we have the same situation that Cop found himself in before. They're both rushing to one location, and instead of killing a second one and looting that one, Cop tries to make a beeline to another one. He does get through it, but another Windwalker casualty. You see that guy's actually right next to Cop. He's to the left right now of Cop, and he just doesn't get out of the mechanic. Cop does not actually have an interrupt tracker, but we see that, yeah, he just doesn't get out. Cop, you could have also maybe leg sweep to help him get out, but like, yeah, usually you would expect people to be able to get out of their own, no problem. So he gets kind of rooted in the other mechanic and dies to that. Now again, they're pleading on their knees, begging this paladin to stop worshiping the light and use the battle res spell on the heathen monk here. Just not gonna do it. Here comes another crazy mess of mechanics right out of that into another overlap, and that's a mistake, huh? Look at that one. Yeah, you don't see this every day. So here comes webs into cosmic singularity, and you might see Cop has this weird red ring around his character. So does the tank. Why does that happen, you might ask? Well, I'll show you why. Dodging the webs, the tank accidentally walks into a puddle, and instead of just interrupting it with one of his 40 interrupts, he not only freedoms himself, but freedoms another player. So that means Cop and the tank are both gonna get pulled in. Just running through puddles with freedom up just spawns the enemy. So we actually spawn like 8 bloods there. The tank gets pulled in again, but doesn't die. So still sitting on 1 battle res, and the tank is alive. So yeah, we're gonna use the battle res now. Love how this almost happens the second time. Mage is still chirping in the chat, but watch how this almost happens the second time. Gets res, almost walks right into the dispel there, but luckily kind of jukes it. We got like 10 of these bloods up. We are gonna finish them. Keep on punching, keep on chipping away at the boss. Might get this killed. Now the other monk's mad. I don't know, maybe he doesn't realize that there aren't 2 battle reses, but he says, okay, don't battle res me, Sai, when he saw the other, Cop gets the battle res. Bloods everywhere, constantly spawning extra bloods on this fight. That means puddles have been taken. We are gonna barely get to one with only 4 people. It's a little bit easier of an encounter. And again, we are gonna struggle to get out of our own black blood stun. The tank just does nothing and gets rooted and hit by the mechanic. Barely gonna live yet again. Still telling you how powerful tanks actually are, but this time gonna go down. Watch it again. Just stuck in a blood. Just could interrupt it, stun it, blind it, do a million things to get out of that. Freedom, it finally works there, and he doesn't do anything. So he does survive the stun, and he does survive what comes next, but then somehow just dies, I guess, to getting dispelled, or like the poison in general, and now tank down like the Titanic, and everybody's frustrated. GG and Whelp from the 2 guys who've been talking the whole dungeon. And actually, shockingly enough, the tank is going to be the one who leaves here, which is kind of despicable, frankly. Yeah, that was a poor showing from pretty much everybody all around. Really frustrating to see them sit on those battle reses, and the fact that you still don't have count after somebody pings, that's pretty nuts. But yeah, Cop always finds these crazy moments, man. I love that. So thanks again. I'm so glad you're back, man. Hope you're going to hit the ground running on season 2, and we're going to get even more crazy submissions for you. Next few days, it's going to be wall-to-wall reviews, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.